by. Stand by.
That's almost all I do now.
Stand by.
Welcome back, sharpshooters, to Mind in the Box. I'm your guide, Carlos with a K, and today we're diving into the incredible world of Steel Challenge shooting sports. Get ready to unlock the skills that will elevate your game, enhance your gun handling finesse, and boost your firearm safety. The competencies you gain in Steel Challenge shooting sports aren't just about hitting steel. They're your gateway to a superior competitive performance, masterful gun handling, and a heightened sense of firearm safety. It's a journey worth taking. Now, in this series, you're not just watching, you're learning how to soak in the joy of organized competition, dance to the rhythm of range commands, and embrace the safety rules like a pro. In this episode, we're gonna be reviewing some match footage from the Area 4 Steel Challenge Championship. Really quick, I'd like to take a minute to thank the Area 4 director, the USPSA team, the National Range Officer Institute, because they all came together to make this Area 4 match happen in 3 weeks at the end of the year, so those of us that were able to make it didn't have to miss out on a second year of the Area 4 not happening. So thanks to everyone for making this happen. Also, big thanks to the range and the Capital Area Practical Shooters for coming through and putting on an awesome match with limited time to prepare. So started out on 5 to go, getting ready to get in the box with RFPO. Now I wanted to show you my make ready stance here, because one of the things you'll notice is once I unbag, the first thing I do is turn on my red dot. I usually turn it off after every string because it tends to get hot in the bag if I don't. And then I find my position in the box. So if you'll notice, I begin shifting my feet. Once I find my position in the box, I'll go ahead and load. And the next thing I do is center my stance, grip, lock my wrist on the hardest plate of every stage, which in this case is going to be plate number 4 at the very far back. Once I do that, I draw a line through the targets all the way back to plate number 1 and then go down to low ready. So every time I'm doing that same thing, center on the far target, back to target 1 and low ready. I'm really happy with that run. If I could repeat 4 or 5 of those, I would be ecstatic.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Had a bit of an issue on that one with plate number 4. Now the one thing to note is that I shot with my sweater on because again it was cold. It was probably still about 37 degrees right now out there. You can see everybody else is bundled up. But the sweater limited my movement. I wasn't used to moving with it, so I didn't like it. So I ended up taking the sweater off to shoot rimfire rifle open division. Same thing, find my footing in the box. It's a little wider for the rifle than the pistol. Then I try to run through the stage as many times as possible in that 1 minute time frame once I'm in the box. I want to get more and more and more runs in because I want this to be like my 20th attempt. I want to already be ready to go. Let's watch.
Okay. Okay.
I got to practice with the double action.
Once again, center up on that hardest plate first, draw the line, and down to low ready.
Are you ready? Stand by. Are you ready? Stand by. Are you ready? Stand by.
It's definitely more gun than I have shooter.
If you start, you go, right? Are you ready? Stand by.
Had a little bit of a hiccup on that one, but no problem. It's the best 4 out of 5.
Are you ready? Stand by.
You need to show the RO clear, flag the rifle, and then bag the rifle.
But I missed that trigger.
Yeah.
That trigger.
It's clear.
Now, at a tier 3 match, definitely need to paint between every shooter, and you can't shoot your guns back to back, so you'll need to have a shooter go in between. Just some notes from this stage. Now you'll notice I don't even turn off the camera coming back. The first thing I do, if you look at the shadow, is take my sweater, put it on, and then put the jacket on top of that. Now I left this here because the gentleman stepping into the box is none other than Ron Wood. So you saw Ron in the Mississippi video last month. Well, we were shooting together again this month in Area 4.
Time in between, you're not warm.
Yes, sir. It felt so much better, though. I'm gonna tell you, it felt so much better.
So you just heard me say it felt better without the jacket or the sweater on. I could move my body the way I'm used to moving it. There's my guy Ron again. And we're stepping into the box for Smoke and Hope with RFPO.
In this cold weather, that's
Now notice, have the sweater off,
I put hand warmers in my 22.
and I immediately start just dry firing runs. I haven't got the make ready command yet, so I'm gonna go through the box because I want to get as many attempts at the stage as I can before I actually start my attempts. So we just said make ready, so we're getting out the gun, turn on the dot, and then we'll go through setting up feet, position, and getting ready to tackle Smoke and Hope.
Oh yeah, I got it done.
Have a hand warmer in there.
If you've seen the Smoke and Hope video,
I warm everything at night. I bring it in the house anyway.
you know I like right foot on the box pointed at that far right target, left foot
I'm wondering, maybe I could
adjust
just take that.
to make sure I get my body lined up with the stop plate.
Absolutely.
So what you'll see here is as I'm turning through the targets, I'll line up that stop plate to make sure that that's where the stop is. I'll move that left foot forward or back, make the adjustments to help me pivot directly to the stop plate. And then if you'll watch, that's like the elevator movement. I'll move my body up and down to also align with that stop plate because it's such a small target. So again, I like to line up on the hardest plate, which on this stage is the stop plate, go to target 1, and then down to low
Are you
ready.
ready? Stand by.
How can he shoot that fast? There was a kid in Mississippi when we were there, and we were walking up, and they announced his
Stand
time.
by.
He ran the
That was even faster than the last one. You can't even, by the time the last, you hear the last sound, you can't even count them.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Had a little hiccup there on plate number 2.
Do you want this? I'm gonna go.
wintertime comes, I put hand warmers in everything. I mean,
Are you ready? Stand by.
I think that's a good idea.
That time I had a little hiccup on the stop plate, but I was listening to the conversation behind me about hand warmers. And so in just a minute, I'll tell you more about why we were talking about hand warmers in with your ammo. Let's watch this last string.
I got one in there. I just don't know if it does a bit of good, but
Sure can hurt.
well, that's what I figure. It can't hurt.
Bye.
And a sub 1.5 anytime on any stage, I'll take it. Turn off the optic, bag the gun, and I like to keep the gun barrel pointed down range while I grab the zipper and zip up the bag. Once again, Ron shot right after me the entire day, so Ron's in a lot of the footage. This time, let's watch him shoot a couple with carry optics on Smoke and Hope. Now, as he gets ready, one of the things they were talking about with the ammo and the hand warmers is that ammo has wax on it. When it's really cold outside, the wax gets hard, and it makes the casing stick in the barrel, which causes a lot of jams.
Did you talk about switching ammo?
Are you ready?
Are you moving the mini?
Especially with Rimfire. So one of the guys was having that exact problem.
Stand by. Clear.
Oh, it's clear.
Reset.
Here's Ron trying.
All right, so after pistol, I was pretty confident with Rimfire rifle, open division on Smoke and Hope. Got into the box. We're gonna go through the same process, even though I just shot it. It's a different division. I'm gonna go through my same process, get my feet set. I'll run through the stage, get my feet lined up where I believe they need to be. And then once I do that, I'll try to get some full runs, starting at low ready, up to 3-4, 1-2 stop. Now here I think I'm a bit low in my stance.
Watch it for a second.
Are you ready? Stand by. 182. 182. Are you ready? Stand by.
Now on that run, the timer didn't pick up all the shots, so I needed to reshoot it. And for some reason, 90% of the time on reshoots, it's not as good as the original, at least for me. For you guys, it may be different. So putting in some time, just kind of waiting while they sort out what to do. So we're reshooting string 2. Again, I think I'm too low in the box.
Are you ready? Stand by. 250. Always after those. Oh, okay. We'll delete it. Besides space.
Had to wait a second while they made sure the time got put in on the right string. So I took the time to get set up again. And I raised up a bit. Let's see if this helps.
Are you ready? Bye.
So all 5 clean, but then I put an extra shot on the stop plate, which cost me some time. Again, I got held up a bit from my usual routine of running through by the guys on the timer. So something to note, you can get distracted when that happens because you lose your flow. You got to wait.
Are you ready? Stand by.
And so I'm obviously frustrated, which is the worst thing to do when you're on a stage because usually that leads to more mistakes. Let's watch.
Are you ready? Stand by.
So I ended up with an 836 on Smoking Hope with rifle, which is not where I wanted to be. Should have been down in the low 7 seconds. But it happens, and that's the nature of the game. You gotta keep your mind in the box.
Like a knife in the heart.
I gotta say hi to Debbie. She's painting on the right-hand side. Such a wonderful person. Really enjoyed chatting with her and her husband John during this match. They came down from San Antonio. We usually shoot at Cedar Ridge. Always enjoy shooting with John and Debbie. Let's fast forward to Ron on Smoking Hope with Rimfire Rifle Open Division. Ron took his sight picture the same as I like to do. He goes to plate 1 and down to low ready.
Federal right now. Okay. Are you ready?
Ron had the same issue I did, and he runs a comp on his rifle that the timer wasn't picking up time.
Okay, good.
Shoot low again. No, I got you.
Warm up.
Yeah. There's a piece that goes in the front of the spring as well. Right.
Are you ready?
That's heavy.
Stand by.
That was a solid run for Ron. And once again, the timer didn't pick it up. So we got to watch out for those kinds of things at matches. No matter what, whether you run a comp or you don't, sometimes the timer just not picking it up. So what we ended up doing was switching out timers. So we're going to go ahead and skip forward. Moving right into Pendulum with Rimfire Pistol Open Division. It's starting to warm up a bit on the range, so you can see everybody's jackets are starting to come off. The hats are coming off. Now, time should start getting a little bit faster. Already in the box, lining up the targets, getting into stance, figuring out what position I want to be in, approximately in the box, because I'm going to move my feet when I get my pistol out for safety reasons. But again, give yourself the best chance you can, which I believe is dry fire the stage as many times as possible before you begin. And if you've seen the gotta go fast to get fast video, the reason is when you're trying to go faster and faster and faster, it becomes easier the more times you do it. And so I'm trying to make sure that once I shoot my first shot, I've already done it 15 times, so that way I'm ready to go. I shoot this stage from left to right, and then back to the stop plate in the middle. So we're loaded up. I'm going to work on my grip, get set, come over to 1, and down to low ready.
Out of order, so I haven't done like the instructor thing. Okay. That's like it's like 20 days. So
Are you
like
ready?
2 sessions.
Stand by.
Saturday to
And there, I lost my dot. Doesn't happen often, but even sometimes I adjusted something right when I went down to low ready, and when I came up, my dot just wasn't where I expected it to be. So normally I'm always looking at that first target, and I bring the dot to my sight.
Are you ready? Stand by.
So I don't know. I think
So big improvement over the first run, but still not where I'd like to be for me.
or anything like that.
Let's see what I can do on this third string.
But I don't know.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Slowed it down a bit, went 2-4-2. No misses, always, it's gonna give you your fast time.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and do that. At the time, one guy was like a CFO.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Technology company. His wife
So coming up, string number 5. I'm not going to crank it up because I have 2 times that aren't pretty good. I'm just going to try to go 1 for 1 again.
So he was doing stuff to take care of her, and so he kind of dropped it.
And I ended up with a nice 217. So again, just going 1 for 1, you could see the times drop, and I was able to salvage a GM time off of those 2 bad runs that I started with. So never give up, always keep pushing, but know when you need to make some adjustments, like, hey, I just need to slow down and go 1 for 1. Thanks to Ron and Debbie, you'll see them painting again. Really appreciate all their work. Ron touching up the edges there to make sure no breaks.
Mostly. Well, as long as you're jumping each other and thinking that's going to make things faster, it usually just ruins it for everyone.
Sorry, got police.
And while they were doing that, I was doing my dry fire thing. And I try to get in the box as soon as possible when I can, as soon as someone clears. Unflag. Turn on the dot. Now this is a stage where I have a slightly different stance for rifle. It's much closer to the stance I use for pistol. All the targets are at the same distance, so there's no reason to stagger my feet across or try to square up on a different plate because all the targets are the same distance on this stage. The only thing I'll need to do, I'll just need to make sure I have a nice pendulum arc through the stages. So as I run through, they're looking good. And after already shooting this with pistol, it's a little easier for the second gun. And then it's also rifle, which I started with in Steel Challenge, so it's better division for me.
Well, with this, groups needs consistency, and it does, but it's just trying. As long as it's within a 10-inch, you're good.
So I didn't like something and where the rifle was positioned on my shoulder, so before he called go, I went ahead and adjusted.
It's funny when people are like,
Oh, if you're fast and you shoot good, you're
Oh, you're ready. Stand by.
it's just consistent.
273.
Really follow.
So, you know, like people, we are responsible for our government.
Oh, you're ready. Stand
Voted
by.
against the current government, right?
The timer had a malfunction on that one, so nothing I could do except wait it out and get set again. So while he's fixing that, of course, I'm going to square up on plate number 3 and just get my bearings back again. Hey, I'll run a couple strings through the stage, make sure I'm ready to go.
Timers, man.
yeah. Right.
Oh, you're ready.
I don't really know how.
Stand by.
How often vote them out.
267.
I guess vote them out. Like,
I know. Well, people could fight against the government. People could fight against the
right. I just.
Oh, you're ready.
How does
Stand by.
How does it ever?
16.
But I mean, it's just a lot of propaganda and brainwashing. Throw a little bit of like violence.
Oh, you're ready. Stand by.
People that
Oh, you're ready. Stand by.
So solid times for the final 3 strings. Once again, was able to salvage this to a GM time with a 938. And just barely at 95%. But hey, I'll take it.
and they're like polar opposites.
Range is clear.
Shout out to my man John. Everybody was complimenting on his cart. Like, he built a whole table into his cart, so he just drives up with his own table, which I thought was really interesting. Really fabulous. Now, John got a procedural on Showdown for for not switching between boxes. So they added 3 seconds to his time.
At this level of match.
Now we went to the range master on this, and the rule ended up being that the RO should tell the shooter he has to move, so he shouldn't start the shooter in the wrong box. So if you're shooting Showdown and you don't move between boxes, you should not catch a penalty for not moving, because the RO shouldn't have started you from the wrong box. Once again, Debbie and Ron painting. I think they ended up with over 10,000 steps on the day, so thanks again to both of those folks for, you know, making the match go faster. The faster people paint, the faster it goes. And if you'll see, I'm over in the right-hand side box. I'm going ahead and I'm getting my sight picture. Turn on my dot. And the first thing I'll do is, on this stage, I have my feet positioned in the middle on the right-hand side, the middle on the top of the box. Feet need to be about 2 inches onto the box. I like to place them there. You know, I guess it gives me a solid footing because I'm standing on my heels, so I can move a little faster. But I did notice some movement in my stance as I came up from low ready. Like, I shook. There was some movement in the body that I didn't like. So I may try moving my feet down off the box, but keeping the position. However, I do this because it's what I'm used to, and I know how to react to it mentally as I'm getting ready.
Are you ready? Stand by.
So, the RO said right here he wanted to look at the stop plate. And so if we zoom in really quick, it does appear that the stop plate does not have a hit. But we know we heard the sound when it went. So the RO and I walked out. Always walk out to check the target with the RO to make sure that there's not an edge hit that they might miss. Now as we got close, it was obvious there was a hit right on the edge at the top right. But I left this in there to make sure that you go out and you check your targets if someone might call a miss on you, because you never know. You might have caught an edge. So because of this, I go ahead and take my time to get reset up. I establish on the targets, and I'm going to run through the stage a few more times to make sure that I'm ready to re-engage.
Are you ready? Stand by. 186. 186. Are you ready? Stand by. 176.
So in Showdown, you have to shoot 3 from one box and 2 for the other. I like to go ahead and start in the left box and do my best strings first, because it gives me the confidence, so when I move, I'm ready to continue shooting. Feet position, same place. Right hand side in the middle, front in the middle. Starting on the right and shooting to my left, I'm just not as comfortable with. So I always start in the left hand box and then move to the right for my final 2.
Are you ready? Stand by. 173.
Make sure your gun's running good, because I'm thinking about my gun. Not what I was doing.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Now today I ended up shooting faster from the right hand side. I was paying more attention to the targets and making sure that I got my hits in. I finished up with a 7:06 GM time, so got faster throughout the stage, which is exactly how I believe we should do every stage in Steel Challenge. So last person we haven't introduced is Chris there in the black shirt.
Good one for you.
Good enough. Good enough.
It's only 100%.
Only.
Try to do better next time, Carlos.
Yeah. Are you ready? Stand by.
You hear it bugs you?
No, my battery for my stimulator.
That's a nice clean run from John D. Running through speed option. And so he had some issues on plate number 2, which is that far round plate that's right behind the first plate on the left. And then the stop plate is the big square in the back. Nice. So John has some solid runs on speed option. See if he can continue that pattern.
Are you ready?
Awesome. Needs to unload, show clear, keep it pointed down range, and then he'll bag it. Once bagged, he'll drop it in the cart, and there go our painters, Ron and Deb, taking care of business.
I got an extra. No, I got 3. Okay. Oh.
Carlos.
Now, John shot before me all day long, so I had a squad of pretty much friends. I've shot with every shooter on this squad except for one in multiple matches, so great time shooting with my friends today. Now, on speed option, honestly, I've been struggling a lot getting my times where I want them to be and getting my footing to come up on plate number 1. On plate number 4, which is the far right plate. Now, my camera positioning wasn't ideal for this stage because the targets look like they're stacked behind each other. So there's 2 targets on the right, 2 targets on the left, but they're both circles, but they're kind of stacked. Again, trying to adjust for that raise up to my right. This is the only stage where I raise up to the far right plate. Well, I guess on Showdown too, so that's not exactly correct. But I'm really working on that rise up. The length of the stock and the positioning of my arms just doesn't make it comfortable. Now, once I load, I like to insert the mag, rack the gun, and then I also like to check and make sure that there's a round in the chamber. I usually only do this on the first run, but you'll notice I'll check. I center up on the hardest plate, which is plate number 2. I consider that the trap plate. And then I'll swing over to 1 and down to low ready.
Stand by. 287.
287.
Are you ready? Stand by. 264.
So what I'm really shooting on this stage for is about a 225. So I'm about a second over where I should be.
Are you ready? Stand by.
That's much closer to my expected result.
Are you ready?
What I ended up changing is I started bending at the waist on this stage to compensate for the angle.
Are you ready? Stand by.
And it worked okay. It wasn't perfect, but it got me where I wanted to be, which is a 9.75.
No, second gun. Yes, sir. I already shot.
Range clear.
So I forgot to turn on the camera and record any of the outer limits stages. So kind of bummed about that, but I did remember to record Roundabout. So here's John D getting started on Roundabout.
Stand by. Yep. 404. 404. Are you ready? Stand by. 742.
Are you ready? Stand by. 752. 752. Are you ready? Stand by. 810. 810. Finish that low, sir. Clear, clear. Tag.
I always say when people take a lot of shots that, hey, you got your money's worth. You came out to shoot, and so you put some rounds down range.
A little bit, like I'll go do well.
Next up was myself, Carlos K.
Okay.
So you got Mr. Knox in the box.
That's the noise.
So again, always, as you see me do all day, it's about 2:30 now, and we started at 8. So 6.5 hours in, you know, we're still shooting, which is okay, because again, great day with friends. But because it was colder or cooler, I did not hydrate enough. So I can tell you that at this point, I was super tired, like I was ready to go. But as always, get my runs through the stage because I know it's going to set me up for success. I know that doing my little, you know, dry fire runs before I shoot it makes me perform better.
Yeah.
Like trap.
Yeah.
Trap. I do trap. That's what doubles is, right?
Yeah, you got to work on your lead.
Yeah.
When it's straight away from you, you can't nail it.
Yeah, it's going across that. Yeah.
Are you ready? Stand by.
That's a tough.
216. 216.
I'm not very good at that. I'd like to get better at it.
He's really good.
I used to be good at it.
Did you? What did you shoot? What?
It's 12 gauge.
Are you ready?
Over and under.
But what for? Did you do skeet or trap?
Yeah, way more than trap.
187. Carlos.
I'm sorry, what's your name?
I'm Chris.
Chris?
Yes.
Yeah, nice to meet you.
Good to meet you.
Enjoyed shooting with
Debbie,
you.
Are you ready?
nice to meet you.
Stand by.
So things are going well. You can watch me get my grip, position my pistol on that hardest plate, swing over to 1 and down to low ready. Same as all day.
Okay. So do you shoot primarily steel challenge?
Are you
or do
ready?
shoot other?
Stand by.
That's almost all I do now.
167.
Okay.
USPSA
167.
if you go way back.
Right.
But with age comes wisdom. I decided I don't like moving so much.
Yeah.
So this
Well,
is much
especially
easier.
USPSA, it's just the time.
Are you ready? Stand by.
Oh, yeah.
I'm too.
169.
So a 698 at 107 GM.
You shoot Carlos?
I like that time.
Once in a while I do. Carlos, I'm in San Antonio, and he comes down to the range I shoot at
Okay.
once in a while.
Range
Okay.
clear.
He used to come down no more often than now.
I bet him in. So I just left about 15 minutes.
315.
No, I didn't get all of John runs on this one, but I did get his last run with Rimfire Pistol Open Division.
Are you ready? Stand by. Finish the notice show. Clear? Yeah, clear.
Now this is me stepping up with Rimfire Rifle Open Division. It's the end of the match. I can tell you I've had a solid match, and I knew that I was in a good position. I had several GM runs, many at a few at 100%. And of course, Ron's got to get his camera time in. There he is. But he's not really blocking anything this time, so no worries, Ron. So right here, guys, it's the end of the match. I told you I was tired. Mentally, let's see what I can do. That's exactly how I would want to start this, so excellent. So just right there, in the background, somebody said the word wow.
Ready. Stand by. 307.
And mentally, it got to me. And that one didn't bother me so much because, hey, you know what? It happens. 307, all I need is 3 more clean runs.
195.
And 1 mic, which took the 495, which meant I had to take the 307 string. So I just stopped. I need 2 clean runs to finish. Take a breath, get myself set up, and start over.
Are you ready? Stand by.
And I just couldn't put a clean run together.
Are you ready? Stand by.
So I ended up with a 906, an A ranking against the par time. You know, as Ron comes up, I'll go ahead and kind of summarize the match for you in that I lost this match by 2 seconds for the overall, which this stage right here probably cost that, as well as a bad smoking hope. All right, you superstars, whether you're aiming for bullseye or you just want to amp up your skills, Mine in the Box is here to rock your world. So smash that subscribe button, join the squad, and let's rock this awesome journey together. I'm Carlos with a K, signing off. Stay epic, stay sharp, and keep blasting.